Okay, so we are going to finish up with Charlotte Perkins Gilman. Charlotte Perkins Gilman's The Yellow. I don't know why that's so hard to take. It's like a tongue twister. The Yellow Wallpaper. So, yeah, 10. The woman gets out in the daytime because she's seen her. She can see her out of every one of her windows. This is probably my favorite entry. It's the same woman I know, for she is always creeping, and most women do not creep by daylight. So I hope that when you are reading this, when you read the word creeping about, you are imagining like every horror film with the ladies with the long hair covering their face and they're walking all distorted. That is what I picture when I am reading this, the creeping. But women don't, most women don't creep about in the daytime. That's how I know that it's her. Um, she hides in the bushes when people come, when the carriages kind of go by, when she's creeping about, because she says it must be very humiliating to be caught creeping by daily daylight. She doesn't blame her one bit. Um, she says, I always lock the door when I creep by daylight. I can't do it at night, for I know John would suspect something at once. Mm. She wants John to move to another room. He's gotten so queer that she doesn't want to irritate him. And besides, she doesn't want anybody to get that woman out at night but myself. Okay. Um, Diary entry number 11. She says, if only that top pattern could be gotten off from the under one. And so she begins to try. She says she means to try it little by little. She's going to try to peel the top pattern off of the bottom pattern of the wallpaper. Gotta love this too. I found out another funny thing, but I shan't tell it this time. It does not do to trust people too much. Um, she is suspicious of us, the reader. She's not going to tell us. She doesn't want to tell us because, she can't trust us to know the secret. Only she's going to keep it to herself. She only has 2 days left to get the paper off. So, she thinks John is beginning to notice. She says she didn't like the look in his eyes. I hear him ask Jenny a lot of professional questions about me. She had a very good report to give. She said I slept a good deal in the daytime. John knows I don't sleep very well at night, for I'm also quiet. He asked me all sorts of questions too, and pretended to be very loving and kind, as if I couldn't see through him. Still, I don't wonder he acts so, sleeping under this paper for 3 months. It only interests me, but I feel sure John and Jenny are secretly affected by it. Um, Entry 12. Hurrah! It is the last day, but it's enough. John had to stay over at night and won't be out until this evening. So the night before he was gone. He was gone all day the day before, had to stay overnight, and he's not going to be home until nighttime today. And so she feels like she's got plenty of time. Jenny wanted to sleep with her, the sly thing, but I told her I should undoubtedly rest better for a night all alone. That was clever, for I really wasn't alone a bit. As soon as it was moonlight and the poor thing began to crawl and shake the pattern, I got up and ran to help her. I pulled and she shook, I shook and she pulled, and before morning we had peeled off yards of that paper. Um, so Jenny, the sly thing, wanted to sleep with her. She told her she would sleep better by alone. Really, she just wanted to be alone with the woman who is now crying and crawling and shaking and trying to get out. And she starts pulling the wallpaper off the walls. Like half the room is what I want you to think of. So, um, Jenny comes in the next day. They start moving the furniture. They're moving home, so they're moving the furniture out. Jenny comes up and looks at the wall in amazement, but I told her merrily that I did it out of pure spite at the vicious thing. Um, this trail of consciousness that we are reading from her, how erratic her behavior is, how her cheery disposition kind of masks this. I mean, this is insanity. This is scary. Um, the state of mind that she is currently uh, deterioration, this descent that we have that's taking place here. So Jenny laughed and said she wouldn't mind doing it herself, but I must not get tired how she betrayed herself that time. But I am here, and no person touches this wallpaper but me, not alive. So our narrator is really quick to point out that Jenny would get to that wallpaper over her dead body, and by her body, I mean Jenny's body. Um, she is not going to let anyone get close to this wallpaper. It's hers and hers alone, and it's her secret and it's her obsession, and she is going to get the woman out herself. So Jenny tries to get her out of the room. There's no more furniture except for the bed that's in the middle of the room that's bolted to the floor. All the other furniture has been packed up and put in the moving truck. And so here she is. Jenny's trying to get her to come out, and she says um, that she was going to lay down and take a nap. She was quiet and empty and clean, and she's going to lay down and sleep some more. Don't even wake me up for dinner, I would call when I woke. So she is gone, the servants are gone, and the things are gone, and there's nothing left but that great bedstead nailed down with a canvas mattress we found on it. We shall sleep downstairs tonight and take the boat home tomorrow. Um, so she locks the door and takes the key and throws it out the window down onto the front path. She doesn't want to go out. She doesn't want to have anybody come in until John comes. She says, I want to astonish him. I've got a rope up here that even Jenny did not find. If that woman does not get out and tries to get, if that woman does get out, she says, but I forgot I could not reach far without anything to stand on. The bed will not move. So she's ripped off half the wallpaper as high as she can reach. So half the room, halfway up the walls, as high as she can reach, she's peeled the wallpaper off. Now she's got the top half to contend with. But she doesn't have anything to get up. The bed is bolted to the floor. So she tries at first to get the bed to move. So she tries to lift and push it until she was lame. And then she got so angry that she bit off a little piece at the corner, but it hurt her teeth. So then she stands on her tiptoes and peels all the paper that she could reach. And she says it sticks horribly and the pattern just enjoys it. All those strangled heads and bulbous eyes and waddling fungus growths just shriek with derision. I'm getting angry enough to do something desperate. To jump out of the window would be an admirable exercise, but the bars are too strong even to try. Besides, I wouldn't do it. Of course not. I know well enough that is a step like that is improper and may be misconstrued. That escalated quickly. There. She's so angry that she thinks she wants to do something desperate, jump out the window. She can't do that. The bars are too strong. She can't get out. Then we get the shift, which is probably the creepiest part of the whole story. She says, I don't like to look out of the windows even. There are so many of those creeping women, and they creep so fast. I wonder if they all come out of the wallpaper as I did. So now the narrator is the mysterious woman behind the wallpaper. Just escaped, right? She can creep about as much as she likes now. She says, I suppose, she says, but I am securely fastened now by my well hidden rope. Okay, so back up. She had smuggled in a rope to tie the woman up lest she try to get away once she got out. So she says, I'm securely fastened now by my well hidden rope you don't get me out in the road there. I suppose I shall have to get back behind the pattern when it comes night, and that is hard. She doesn't want to go back in. She refuses to go back to that prison. It is so pleasant to be out in this great room and creep about as I please. I don't want to go outside. I won't, even if Jenny asks me to. Outside the room. She doesn't want to leave the room. So she has broken free from the wallpaper, but she doesn't want to leave this room. For outside, you have to creep on the ground and everything is green instead of yellow. But here, I can creep smoothly on the floor, and my shoulder just fits in that long smooch around the wall, so I cannot lose my way. So back up to the smudge, the mysterious smudge that is all the way around at shoulder level on the wall. Clearly where someone has been creeping, she's creeping along the wall with her shoulder and head tilted over to the wall and staying connected to the wall as she makes circuit after circuit after circuit, creeping about the room. That's horrifying. It should give you a little bit of a chill factor. John's at the door. She says, "It's no use, young man. You can't open it." How he does call and pound. Now he's crying for an axe. It would be a shame to break down that beautiful door. And she says, "John, dear," in my gentlest voice, "the key is down by the front steps under a plantain leaf." And then he importunes, "Open the door, my darling." "I can't. The key is down the front door under a plantain leaf." And then I said it again several times, very gently and slowly, and said it so often that he had to go and see. And he got it, of course, and he came in and stopped short by the door. "What is the matter, for God's sake?" "What are you doing?" I kept on creeping just the same, but I looked at him over my shoulder. "I've got out at last," said I, "in spite of you and Jane." I'm not really sure who Jane is. If Jane is our unnamed narrator, if she meant Jenny, not quite sure. I mean, we're dealing with, insanity here. "And I've pulled off most of the paper, so you can't put me back." Now, why should that man have fainted? But he did, and right across my path by the wall, so that I had to creep over him every time. Um, love it. Love it. Love the story. What's happening? Do we know? Do we know for sure? It's up for interpretation. Is the rope that she smuggled in, has she hung herself? Has she been insane this whole time and she peeling at the wallpaper and tracing circuit after circuit after circuit around the wall with her head attached to it, moving so much so that she's leaving a worn place in the wall? Has John, was she always like this and John has put her there away from everybody else for everyone else's safety, his own, the babies, everybody? It's really up for so much interpretation. So, has she become free? Has she really broken free from the from the wallpaper? Um, is she no longer under his oppression? I don't know. It's really up for you to decide. That's what's so great about literature. So I hope you enjoyed this one. It's always been one of my favorites. And I'll talk to you next time.